Namaskar, I am Ashok Vyas, and in the series Learning from the Leaders, today, once again, we have the pleasure of the presence of Deepak Vakil Sahab, who is entrepreneur as well as author and speaker also. Recently, during your visit to America, you addressed the audience at six different places, and probably this was your first speaking assignment of this kind. So, before we talk about HRD and personal management, I think it is also somewhat related how you connect with the audience, more than one people, and how you communicate with one person. So let's talk about your thinking process once when you accepted the offer of addressing.
Ashok, to be honest with you, I was little skeptical, little nervous, and virgin as far as the public speaking. See, in general term, it was public speaking engagement. I've never done this. I've done a lot of time one-to-one talk because we get students coming from National Institute of Design, and as intern they come to my factory, and they love me and they love the way we work. And the interaction is always on a daily basis. When my workers have gone, they ask me question, and I'm very comfortable with one-to-one. But here I was given the homework that you will be addressing leaders of multinational companies like Chamber of Commerce, New Jersey, then International Immigrant Chamber of Commerce, and then students at St. Peter's thing. And then there was an organization who had 66 employees, and boss had come to India and had come to my factory. So he said, I want you to come and address my employees. So different crowd, absolutely open stage, and I was very nervous, but I decided one thing, that wherever I go, I will speak from the bottom of my heart. This is the bottom line, that I wanted to tell them the truth. Any other way of talking to them would have never worked. Somebody suggested check up Google, tips of what to say, what not to say, your gesture, how you speak, tone of the voice, the pitch, everything. But I went through that and I learned little. But what really worked everywhere was that I told the truth, and I did not add or subtract anything from the truth, and I spoke from the bottom of heart, and it has worked. I think it has worked. I've got several emails, and one lady told me that unexpectedly you engage with the crowd in such a captivating way that I can't help but reach out to you.
So now you said it. What you were sharing was from the bottom of your heart, and you were saying truth, not adding or subtracting. So I'm tempted to ask you, what is truth?
Well, the truth means different thing to different people. When I was writing book or when I'm making wallet, sometimes people, the truth in other people's eyes is how much money I'm making. They think that am I doing this to make money? But the truth is different. Truth is what is your intention behind doing any activity, and do you do that activity only for the sake of money or the material, attraction, or you want to buy a house or car, or you write a book, you will get money, you make leather products, you increase. What I think truth is always, the thing which universally people are afraid of. But there are some people who love truth, and I think majority of us are wanting to know the truth behind everything. But most of the time, truth is very bitter, it hurts, but it needs to be told.
So when you said it is bitter, I was reminded Satyam Shivam Sundaram. So that is where we come from. So it should be in the larger good when you translate Shivam as auspicious as well as Kalyanakari then. And it should be, if not camouflaged or coated to look different, but it should be said with a sense of harmony and peace of mind. Is that something you would agree?
Well, I would say that when you speak the truth behind anything, the teller or the one who speaks to the truth has to pay the price. People will have two types of the reaction when you tell the truth. That is he telling the truth? Because the what is being told is so different. it is so direct, and it is absolutely naked, I am saying. So it hurts them. There is another class of people also. When you tell them the truth, they will say that, look, this man has told the truth, but is it his own truth? Has he experienced the truth, or he has taken it out from Google, or is read in some book? Or but the point I want to make is, when truth comes from a person who has experienced it, on the first hand, and he or she puts that truth in the simple words, it becomes, it takes you to the very high level. And what I've written in my three books, they are not fiction. If you ask me to describe what you have written, I have written only the truth and nothing but the truth, which I learned very hard. You have to pay the price to learn the truth, and there is a greater price to be paid when you open your mouth and you vomit out the truth, because people might not like it.
Okay, so now let's be very truthful in saying that you may not like the truth which is expressed in a way which is totally in disagreement to what you subscribe to or believe in. And at the same time, on the other side, Deepak ji, especially referring to speaking assignment, truth, if it is boring, it would put your audience to sleep or they would run away. So you probably were also conscious that the way you are expressing your truth should be interesting and it should bring them into the fold of your orbit of communication. So how that worked and played out at different places, what was it that you kept in mind to pay attention to this side?
Okay, several things. I did my homework before I came here. I rehearsed what I was supposed to speak. This to be honest with you, this art of public speaking is both science and art. Both. Science in the way that you have to look at your watch and you say you are giving 10 minutes and you spend 20 seconds on thanking the person to give you for giving you the opportunity. It takes few seconds, and at the end you want to thank them again. It takes few seconds. So I planned my thing in a very minutest detail. That is science. Maybe I rehearsed. I stood in front of mirror, and I tried to do the best I can. Another thing, when it comes to art, like you raised very important point that when you speak the truth, it may become boring or something. Well, what I have experienced is, at one place I was given 10 minutes, but I decided that I'll finish it by 9 minutes or something. That is also an achievement. That what you want to tell, you tell very quickly, but not hurriedly. Know the audience before you go, what type of mindset they have, and talk to them in the language which they understand. Not English, everybody understands, but the mindset in which they understand. So I did this homework. I spoke to different people, I mean different crowd, with different subject, and I had six places to speak, and I had six stories of mine, which I thought will be good for respective audience. Like what I spoke to student, it was very different than what I spoke to the leaders when I spoke to Chamber of Commerce, New Jersey.
So now, coming back to the question and answer session, did you come across similar questions at all the places, or was there something different? And allow me to add, when you have this experience of having addressed at six places in America, and that too for the first time, it adds to your confidence. Number one, because you were received well. Number two, you also in your subconscious record certain, call that lessons or tips, either about life or about addressing another audience next time.
Look, question and answer thing was very, very exciting. And I knew that when people ask you the question, the intimacy level has increased. Otherwise, it's my experience when I was student. I have also been in audience, so many times. And when a speaker asks, the stage is now open for question answer. Nobody wants to ask any question, not because they know all the answers, but they are reluctant. There is a wall between speaker and audience, and audience also think that if I raise my hand, if I get up and ask some question, people might think that I am ignorant or I'm stupid, and whether my question will be relevant to what he wants or not. But it is my experience that when you say, look, gentlemen, ladies, now the stage is open for question and answer. I will love to interact with you and answer. I said that I will answer any question under the sun. So there was a lady who made a joke to Deepak, today is very rainy day and there is no sun. So I said I will answer the question under the clouds and sun and rain and everything. That made the. But coming back to your question, look, the questions were very different at all six places. Okay, students wanted to know what they can do in their life further when they go out of the university. The questions which were asked to me by already established multinational presidents and vice presidents of company who has presence all over the world, they were very different. They had everything and they wanted to know that when you have everything, how do you add the colors of spirituality to it. The students were virgin to outside world. They were very, sort of, they were in their comfort zone. So I had to tell them that, look, this is your comfort zone. There was a board and I explained to them that if I teach you how to swim here by drawing, that you raise your hands and legs, and when you go out and if I throw you in the water, will you, they understood that education helps, the classroom helps, but when you go out and face this selfish world, you need experience. So as I told you, it differs from person to person.
So I think what I hear from Deepak ji, he has enriched himself by putting himself in this situation where he was interacting, addressing, engaging with people at different forums and people with different mindset or different level of success in their lives. And I think in addition to what you do when you know more about people, you know how they understand life, it it is a source of a unique kind of a joy, I would say. So how do you see now onwards? Would you like to be more out there as a speaker than what has been so far?
Look, this is a very interesting question. And last night when I came home after finishing my, I think, sixth engagement, I was sitting and I was thinking that these 10 days have probably transformed me from a worker or a hardcore entrepreneur who tires himself on the daily basis and contributes even in the physical activity in the factory. And these last 10 days and six engagement was like a transformation. All of a sudden, I have become a sort of professor or motivator, or the person who they look at me as a mentor. So I everywhere I have to tell them that I am neither a professor nor a mentor, and I am not qualified even to give this type of speeches. But I have a mammoth wealth of experience. Another thing, Ashok, I want to tell you is this. What I realized is if you want to speak for 1 minute, you need to have at least 5 years experience of what you have done, and you will be great if you can reduce that 5 years experience in few sentences. And God given, if you read my book also, what I have done is I have miniaturized my experience into few words. And God has given me that capacity. I don't know how I got it, but all I have done so far in all my speaking arrangement is I have described my experiences to the respective audience so that they can identify themselves with what is going on in their life, and it worked. But to answer your question lightly, I don't know where will this go from here, because to be honest with you, I got about 7 or 8 mails from audience, and they said, hey, why don't you come and talk to our Rotary Club, why don't you come and talk to our university and our organ. I don't know, but it's very expensive to be on lighter side to come here and give talk. So I'm not saying that I want to make money by talking. I've made money enough. I'm not a rich guy, but I did it very hard way. But I will like to share my knowledge and experience, or whatever you call it, with people if they can transform their lives. Money is not the motive at 67. What I want to do is if they can learn something from what I've talked, not from me, but what I've done, then my coming here and talking will be very, very useful.
I think this space where we are standing right now, what just we heard from Deepak ji, and let us remove the person Deepak Vakil or Ashok Vyas as human being. What is most satisfying for almost all of us is that we are of some help, in some way we contribute to increasing level of or quality of life for someone, or help them in refining their perception to lead their life in more meaningful manner. So I think this is beautiful. And on that beautiful note, as I conclude, uh, I know you may or may not have come across such people whom you heard the way you were speaking and you were inspired, or you still recollect. Do you recollect having heard a speech of anybody and you were in the audience and there was a Q&A?
Yeah. If you have heard the name of Ruchi Kumar Pandya, well, he died about 1 year ago. Uh, it's a very interesting story, and I must tell you this.
I have to interrupt you to tell you that I know him personally. I met him personally. I've read his book, which was about assertiveness.
Yes, yes. Look, he was my neighbor about 50 years ago when I was 16, and then we moved out from that society, and I lost his contract. I spent 50 years without hearing anything about him. Okay. Then he used to come at Indian Institute of Management and in Ahmedabad, and there was one advertisement on the newspaper that everybody is invited. Speaker is Ruchi Kumar Pandya, and he's going to speak. I said, is he same Ruchi? Because I used to call him Ruchi, and I said I didn't know that he has become a professor and he's become success and he went to Canada and he's been all over the world. I said, is he this same guy? So I went there, and he spoke, and I again fell in love with him. After this thing was over speaking, I walked down to him, and I said, sir, do you remember me? My name is Deepak, and about 50 years ago we were staying in a place called Aswin Society, and I was your neighbor. He not only he recollected me, and he hugged me, and there was a lot of love and passion. And then he helped me tremendously in writing my first book. And then I did one thing very extraordinary to strengthen our relationship. When my son got married in 2012, uh, nobody does this type of thing. So I invited him. I said, there are going to be the guests from all over the world. Why don't you come and see? Had he told me that what is his fees and something, I cannot afford. And he knew it. He said, look, Deepak, I want to give an extraordinary wedding gift to your son, and that I'll come. I do not want the tickets. I do not want anything. I will come and I speak for 45 of it. He spoke, and the audience was just flabbergasted. But unfortunately, he had a heart attack and he died 2 years ago. He was not my guru or mentor because he was not around when I was trying to go through the worst thing of my life. He came when I was, I had done my duty, and I just wanted to know who is this speaker. And that's how it all started.
So he was not only a good speaker, communicator, his special relationship with harmony also was rooted in his appreciation of music in a very significant way that you must be aware. But we conclude with memory and with may his soul rest in peace. And we somewhere retain such presence in us, those who make us see the beauty of life, and may that process continue in the life of Deepak ji. Thank you very much, sir.
I want to add one more thing about Ruchi Kumar Pandya. You see, as I told you, when I was coming here, I was a little nervous. I have his picture in my house, and I went to the picture and I said, look, I am trying to do something what you did. So please give me blessings. I bowed down to him and it worked.
Wonderful. So this I really thank Deepak ji for sharing. So these are the internal, intimate dialogues that we have in a way with ourselves, which actually results into manifesting the strength and our potential to the optimum level. So lots and lots of good wishes. Such a
Thank
pleasure
you very
talking.
much. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you very much. God bless you.